Golden Bond foster program is really unique because we take care of dogs that otherwise are probably not adoptable, either because of medical reasons or old age or even behavioral reasons. We try to provide dogs with a new second chance because a lot of them, if we don't provide that, they get taken to the shelters or they get euthanized. We have been so lucky to find really special people who are willing to permanently foster a dog, which essentially means they're going to have that dog until the dog is gone.
Cooper came to me June 16th of 2025. He had 4 legs then, but the right foreleg was loaded with cancer. Cooper had been in a poor living situation, was being penned 12 to 15 hours a day. He also had some ear infections that had caused hematomas in his ears. Cooper's also got hip dysplasia. They decided that the leg needed to be removed, that just going in to take the cancer out wasn't going to be effective. So August 1st, he had his front leg amputated. He's doing great. It's amazing how well he adapted. What impresses me the most about Cooper is his attitude, which sounds really silly when you talk about a dog, but I've had some grouchy dogs. And Cooper his tail is almost always going. It's as soon as you look at him in the morning, that tail starts thumping and he's off. And that's how he is the rest of the day. It's kind of a joke around the office that you always know where he is. Even if he just hears his name, you'll hear thumping. I'm fairly new with Golden Bond Rescue. They have been immensely supportive through the whole thing. They really encourage you to be honest about what you're able to take on, what you think you can take on. With Cooper, for instance, I was very hesitant about the amputation and being able to rehab him. And they were, one, willing to find another foster if that's ultimately what it needed, but they also had people for me to talk to, resources, equipment, whatever I needed to make it happen. And I know for Cooper, he wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for them. I just want to pay back. I want to be able to give. And this is one of the best ways I can contribute. I love pets. I love dogs, all animals. And being able to give back like this is rewarding for me. And I have a great dog because of it. So why not?
Jojo was rescued in China. He was on a slaughterhouse truck in a crate, crammed in there with other dogs. When I got him, a few days later, he was a mess. Looked like the other dogs had attacked him. His behavior was frantic. He was afraid of everything. Was diagnosed by the vet with adrenal fatigue from having to live in a fight or flight mode for so long. Usually when you have a foster, it's not complicated. You feed them and you love them and you give them consistency and they come around pretty quickly. But in Jojo's case, we realized that it was probably impossible to find a proper home for him. I realized that I might have bitten off more than I could chew. But with Golden Bond's help, we've worked it out. I love how Jojo still loves people. He must have been through something really awful, but he still loves everyone that he meets, wants to be their buddy. The one thing that makes me smile about Jojo is his tail. His tail's only like that long. When he's excited or happy, that little tail just goes 90 miles an hour, and it's pretty cute. And that makes me smile every day when I come home and see that little tail wagging.
Sadie came to Golden Bond because her owner was dying, and one of the last acts that her mother had was to give Sadie to Golden Bond Rescue so that she would find the right person. But Sadie came to the house, and we'd been here for about the first 6 weeks. She cried, and so my grandson and I would just lay on the floor and cry with her. And then she decided at one point that maybe she liked this house, and she became this happy, amazing Labrador. Sadie has arthritis and she's bow-legged. I don't really know what would have happened to her if it hadn't been for Golden Bond. I'm her steward. So I feel very lucky to be able to have that job.
Well, when we first got her, she was only a year and a half old, but very kind of lethargic, and she was having seizures, and she was not in real good shape, and they said she wouldn't live long if she didn't have this procedure. And it's a very expensive procedure we had done at OSU Vet School, and then she's had several infections since, and over the years really come through a lot of hard times.
When I think of how she came to us, I know that Golden Bond Rescue saved her life.
We love Ruby so much. She's been a joy to have, and we look forward to many more years with her.
It's hard taking care of her because she has really fragile health, and she has to be on a very specific diet.
Ruby gets medications administered to her a minimum of 3 times a day. Her will to live and her desire to meet each day with joy and happiness and love and a little mischief has kept her going. We adore her.
She's one of the calmest, sweetest dogs you're ever going to want to meet. Cinder lived with a family, and then the lady passed away. And I would imagine that people don't consider that the dog needs to grieve. To begin with, I think if Golden Bond hadn't taken her with her age and her medical, she probably would have been put down. I mean, there's no way I could afford to give her the care that she needed. I think fostering is just a wonderful way of giving her the best life I can give her without having to be stressed over, how am I going to pay for this, or how am I going to give her the best thing that I can do. We do a lot of walking. She's very patient because sometimes she has to wait for me. With her age and her illness, sometimes it gets serious, but most of the time we have a good time. Golden Bond has been a blessing. They just treat the animals with so much respect and love and dignity. And as long as the animal wants to fight, Golden Bond wants to fight.
Mateo came from China in 2021. He is about 90 pounds right now. When he first came over, he was 54. Physically, he was a mess. He was absolutely a mess. We thought we were only going to have him for a very short while. He has end-stage liver failure. He never really let it show. He came, and I think he recognized the kindness in everyone that was around him and just wants to do absolutely everything to make everyone else happy. I do think it's a little funny now that it's 5 years later. Joke's on them. He's still here, and I'm never giving him back. But I couldn't imagine life without him. I think that he is just such a joy and such a light everywhere he goes. And there's no way that would have happened without Golden Bond from day one, being open and being willing to do whatever it took.
Why do we do this? We do it for the dogs. Simple bottom line. We couldn't do this without our fosters, and we couldn't do it without our donors because it takes a lot of money to do the vet work for these dogs, do the therapy for these dogs, take care of them, do training. We couldn't do it without all of our supporters.